Right now on the Las Vegas Strip, we're getting reports into the Channel 13 Action Newsroom of a fire at the Monte Carlo. You see a live shot from our camera here. Black smoke coming from that area of the resort. We're told fire crews are rushing to the scene after getting several phone calls of flames breaking out on the resort property. We don't know exactly where. Of course, Action News, we are on our way to the Monte Carlo right now. As soon as we get more information, we will bring it to you. Again, breaking news, a fire at the resort, the Monte Carlo Resort on the Las Vegas Strip. Ron, you see these flames coming up, black smoke. This fire starting just moments ago.
Yeah, Monte Carlo on the center strip, pretty much right near
Harmon,
Tropicana.
across from the New Planet Hollywood.
They're doing a lot of construction around this area. This is the area that they're building. The new city center project is just to the north of that, just a little bit. If we could lose that graphic for a moment and see where some of the, okay, we can get a better shot of where that smoke is coming from. And this looks all too familiar. I don't want to sort of, there have been other fires at Las Vegas casinos that have been tragic fires, certainly, that we've had over the years. Let's hope this is nothing like this, but this certainly, it's coming out of a place that does not look good there, right at the center of the Monte Carlo.
Right. The only thing that we can tell from these live pictures we're bringing from our cameras on top of our studios here at Channel 13 Action News, it appears that these flames are somewhere closer to the ground. So hopefully this is not something coming from the top of the resort. But again, these are live pictures. Actually, no, we are seeing flames at the top of the Monte Carlo as well. So we do, again, have a crew on the scene. Again, breaking news, flames, fire, smoke at the Monte Carlo. We are going to stay with these live pictures for you. The good news is there are several fire stations very close nearby. Fire and Rescue's headquarters are right down the street on Flamingo, so we know fire crews are definitely on the scene right now, fighting what appears to be a blaze that seems to be growing instead of decreasing in intensity, Ron.
And fighting these structures like this certainly is a difficult thing, but the firefighters have been trained in this. There's also a county fire station just on the other side, just on the south side of the Mandalay Bay right there. I think that's Station 1 that would be able to respond quickly. And you mentioned the station on Flamingo that I'm sure are on their way right now. We're just going to stay with this. And like I said, we've got crews on the way right now to be able to figure out exactly what this is.
This is a closer picture. You can actually see the flames. This is on top of the Monte Carlo itself on the roof. Debris appears to be falling off of the side of the structure. All we know so far, folks, is that this is an active fire on top of the Monte Carlo on the Las Vegas Strip. And these are pictures that we have live from our Stratosphere camera as well. And that's got to be looking towards, let's see, that's the Mandalay Bay cam. So that's looking towards the north. What you're seeing behind there is the city center project being built. That's the construction area behind there. No sign that this would be related at all to the construction. We have no idea, but that has been an area where there's been a lot of activity because of the construction of city center. New York obviously is very close by there at the corner of Tropicana and the Strip, but these flames coming right now as we speak live out of the Monte Carlo Hotel and Casino. These are pictures, of course, we hate to have to see. It brings back terrible memories of other high-rise fires here in Las Vegas in the past. The Hilton fire, the most recent one before that, the incredibly deadly MGM fire that was down toward the other end of the Strip at Flamingo and the Las Vegas Strip. This is the first fire on top of a casino, which seems to be on the roof of a casino, that I can recall in recent years, Ron. Well, the one at the old, where the Bally's is now, the old MGM, that started down in the bottom level of that. Actually, it started in the deli area, in the cafeteria, and spread to the front of the casino through the Keno Lounge, and then erupted. There was a fire years ago at the International Hotel, which is now the Las Vegas Hilton, and that fire was more up in the higher levels. But this looks like a horrible scene that you are looking at right now, live, the Monte Carlo Hotel and Casino. And we've got crews on the way. I'm sure there are evacuations from this hotel. From everything we can tell, is limited to that one hotel property right there. But this is obviously a horrible situation that we're looking at right now. And this is from the Mandalay Bay cam, again, looking towards the north is what you're looking. So you're looking at the south end of the Monte Carlo Hotel. And from what we can see with these flames, it looks as if the fire is continuing to spread and perhaps even spreading to the lower floors, actually the upper floor, but in other words, from the roof down into actual hotel rooms, which I hope is not the case, but that appears to be so, simply looking at these live pictures we're bringing for you from our Mandalay Bay cam.
the first shots that we saw, it looked like the fire was actually on the ground that was going up, and not sure whether there were things actually falling on the ground. It's hard to tell at this point, but it did look like the fire was coming up the side of the building there towards the top, and that's, like I said, all we know is what we saw there initially is what it looked like. It could have been possibly things falling, as you're seeing, some things falling right now from the side of the Monte Carlo Hotel.
And please, folks, bear with us, because as you might understand, the fire department is far too busy fighting this fire to give us any information about exactly what's going on. So what we're seeing here on the screen is what you are seeing at home. Black plumes of smoke clearly are obviously by this time visible from all parts of the valley. Folks, what you are looking at, this is breaking news on the Las Vegas Strip. A fire on top of the Monte Carlo Resort on the Las Vegas Strip, a fire that appears to be spreading as we speak.
The other angle that we saw, like I mentioned, this is an angle looking from Mandalay Bay towards the north. The other angle that we're seeing right there, I believe that is towards the east, if I'm not mistaken. That is west looking towards the east, probably from our station, our tower camera right there, where you can see those, you can't see the flames, but you can see the smoke. Okay, that's the stratosphere. That's coming from the stratosphere, so that actually is looking towards the south then, past some of the projects that you're seeing, some of the work projects there at the city center development there. And the best angle, tragically the best angle there that you're seeing is from is the south side of the property that we're looking at right there.
Once again, folks, this is breaking news. A fire at the Monte Carlo on the Las Vegas Strip, a fire that broke out within the past half hour. A fire that is spreading very quickly from what we're seeing on our live pictures. The fire department, good news is, in terms of fighting this fire, is that there are both county and city of Las Vegas fire stations, fire headquarters within blocks, minutes of this fire. So there's no doubt that every firefighter available is being dispatched to fight this fire. We have been following this from the very, very beginning. At first, it appeared that the fire was started on the ground, but apparently debris falling from the roof might have been contributing to smoke that wafted in the air. These thick black plumes of smoke clearly by now are visible from all parts of the valley. The fire department busy fighting this fire. We don't have any reports yet of any injuries or what might have caused this fire, this blaze at the Monte Carlo, one of the properties owned by the MGM Mirage Corporation, which is, of course, busy building that huge city center project, which is right next door. It's
about 10 years old, the Monte Carlo. Ground was broken there in March of '95 and then built soon thereafter. And like I said, about 10 years old. A little over 3,000 rooms, one of the largest casinos on the Strip is what the Monte Carlo is. And we see this fire continuing to spread there towards some of the other areas up top. To speculate what, you have a lot of equipment obviously at the top of these hotels, air conditioning equipment, heating equipment, and things like that. As far as I know, there was no construction going on the Monte Carlo itself, unless it would have been something small, some small construction happening there. Plenty of construction happening around that area, with the $7 billion of the city center project that you can see behind there. So certainly there's been a lot of construction in that area. Again, no idea whether that's related right now, but as far as I know, as far as we know, I don't think there was any construction, major construction going on at the Monte Carlo.
The only good thing that came out of the deadly MGM Grand fire of so many years ago was the incredible retrofitting, fire retrofitting that actually led to the highest standards in the world here in high-rise casinos and hotel properties. So we know that the Monte Carlo, which was built long after that disaster, is definitely fitted on all of the upper floors, all of the floors in fact, with state-of-the-art firefighting equipment, sprinklers, that type of thing, which hopefully will aid the firefighters in putting this blaze out as quickly as possible. But from what we're seeing from these live pictures that you're seeing at home at the same time we are, is that the fire unfortunately appears to be spreading.
And has consumed that middle section right there, and that's what we're looking at, the middle section of the Monte Carlo. If we could pull back to give you some perspective on this shot here. Well, there's a different angle. That's from our stratosphere cameras. You can see all the area on the south end of the Strip now, and the very black smoke covering a large area on the Strip. On that other side angle that's looking from the Mandalay Bay cam, if we could look at that, and I'm not sure whether we can pull that out just a little bit to show you and get a perspective of the size of the hotel and what we're talking about. We're talking about a major, major fire now at the top of the casino. And Rikki, you mentioned the retrofitting. That's probably one of the things that's keeping that from spreading as quickly as it could, certainly to some of the lower floors right now.
Exactly. Intensive and extensive sprinkler systems on every single floor of the Monte Carlo. Again, the one good thing that did come out of the disaster at the MGM, which was on what is now the site of Bally's so many years ago when so many lives were lost, and this type of high-rise fire was inconceivable here in Las Vegas. So great steps have been taken by city and county leaders and state leaders to make sure that that would never happen again. But unfortunately, as we're seeing these flames, they are spreading. What started in a very small section of the roof is now actually spreading lengthwise on top of the roof, but it doesn't appear to be going down beyond that top floor of what may be the top hotel rooms, Ron.
But certainly is consuming now a good chunk, perhaps half of the top of the entire Monte Carlo Hotel and Casino, and you can see the big chunk there in the center that is missing from that hotel as it continues to spread in both directions right now, but remarkably is not spreading down. I know fire goes up, obviously, but still little of it is. You want to find anything positive about this, and the big difference between this and what we talked about with the Bally's, the MGM Grand Fire years ago, was that started in the lower section of the hotel, spread up. Right. This is obviously in the top section of the hotel and spreading to the sides here. It's still causing major issues here on the right in the center of the Strip right now.
This fire broke out within the past 45 minutes on the Las Vegas Strip. We have crews on the scene gathering information, but again, fire crews, of course, very busy trying to fight this fire. So you know as much as we know right now that these are the flames. These are live pictures that we're showing you as the fire spreads lengthwise across the upper portion of the roof of the Monte Carlo. We don't have any reports yet of any injuries or fatalities or cause of this fire. Unfortunately, it appears that more flames are pouring out of the windows of these rooms there on the upper, actually that top floor of the Monte Carlo.
44 acres of land is the Monte Carlo. That's what it takes up there on that one section of the Strip, as you see pieces continuing to fall off the Monte Carlo. It's right next to the New York is just south of it. Then you have the Monte Carlo, and then you have a lot of empty land, 70 or 80 acres approximately, that you see the construction being built for the City Center project right behind it there. And then, of course, next to the City Center project, as you continue to move north on the Strip, would be the Bellagio, to put you some perspective on exactly where this is on the Strip. Just a tragic scene right now as we are watching live the Monte Carlo Hotel and Casino, a major fire on that Strip property.
Recently in the news, our casino news has been concerned with construction accidents. Just the pace of construction here, unfortunately, has led to several deadly accidents involving casino workers, construction workers. This is the first major fire, though, we've had inside a resort in recent memory, one that appears to be spreading and growing in intensity.
The fires that we had talked about earlier locals that have been here since the early 80s can remember, and longer, can remember the International Hotel and Casino, which is now the Las Vegas Hilton. That had a tragic fire. There were fatalities with that, and of course the fire in the MGM Grand, which is now Bally's. I believe there were 80 people killed in that fire that happened in the early 80s right there. And since that time, there have been the fires few, far between, and certainly nothing of this magnitude have we seen on the Strip since that fateful day when the lights went out on the Strip in the early 80s with the MGM Grand Fire. And
again, thanks to a lot of just incredible work done by locals to make sure that all hotel casinos built since the MGM and the international disasters were completely retrofitted extensively with sprinklers on every imaginable, conceivable state-of-the-art firefighting method and procedure put into place to ensure that no lives would ever be lost again in a tragic fire. We don't have any word yet on any reports of injuries or deaths in relation to this fire, which started within the past 45 minutes at the Monte Carlo on the Las Vegas Strip. Again, you see the flames now spreading toward the actual marquee itself. But if there is any good news here, it appears that these flames are confined and spreading lengthwise and not spreading down, although we do see that some debris, that one area, debris which fell off the roof might have maybe caught onto something. We hope that's the case and not that the flames are spreading down instead of lengthwise.
One thing also important to note here, Mike Chalinas just handed me a note. He says the winds in that area 3 to 4 miles an hour, so virtually no wind as you see the smoke going straight up, indicating that you won't have the wind at least fueling this fire at this point and making it much more difficult to handle than it already obviously is.